Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. So hope all of you doing good. Okay. Uh, I just shared my screen. Please let me know if you're able to see my screen. I just message in the chat. Okay.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yeah, that's good then. Okay. So welcome to the DevOps on AWS the demo session. Myself, Kalyan Chakravarti. So you can call me as a Chakri. Okay, so yeah, let's try to understand nowadays. There is a lot of importance, and also there is a huge packages whenever it is coming to the DevOps engineers role. Okay, so let's understand what exactly the role of the DevOps. Okay, and nowadays why it is becoming a more popular and providing more salaries when compared to other job roles. Okay, yeah, so let's start here. uh, the importance of DevOps. Okay, so before you come to this session, you may hear about the lot of the tools when you're talking about the DevOps. Somebody is talking about the Jenkins, somebody is talking about the Docker, somebody is talking about the Kubernetes, and somebody is talking about the AWS, also the similar other clouds, Google and Azure. Okay, and also coming to the source control system, somebody is talking about GitHub, and somebody is talking about GitLab. Okay, so here you are going to find the right answer. What are the different tools and how exactly we are using in our DevOps. Okay, so that's we are going to discuss today in our demo, so that you will be able to get a good understanding. Okay, so you also heard about the Docker and Kubernetes, and similarly when you talk about the Amazon, so you are hearing about the Kubernetes EKS service. So what exactly the differences between all these services? Okay, because being a DevOps engineer, we should be able to implement all this, and we should have a good understanding of what are the certain tools which are available in the market, and how we are going to implement and integrate them. Okay, so that's a struggle currently now today to implement the CI/CD process. Somebody's question. Okay. Okay, and yeah, this is the same slide. We discussed about the different tools. You heard about the CloudFormation, Terraform, again the Kubernetes. It's on AWS. Okay, so let's discuss about all these different tools and the differences between these tools in our coming slides. Okay, before jumping into our DevOps, let me introduce myself. I'm currently holding the 11 plus years of experience into DevOps and cloud. So my experience specifically into the cloud computing is like, I used to take care of the migration, lift and shift from on premises to the cloud, and start and doing the assessments. Like if you're doing the migrations from on premises to the cloud, so we need to take care of the infrastructure, database, applications, and then we need to design the architecture on the AWS. Okay, so how we are going to deploy the architecture on the AWS, and what is a suitable service that is going to deploy on the AWS. Okay, so when we are provisioning, we used to enable the CI/CD pipeline, so to automate the infrastructure. Okay, so these are the different roles that I played as an architect role in the cloud industry, I played as a DevOps role, I played as an operations role. These are the three different roles I have played in my total 11 years of experience in the IT industry. Okay, so that's all about me. So let's jump into the other sessions. What kind of knowledge I have already explained, like DevOps side and cloud computing side. So if cloud computing side, I am good with AWS and Azure and GCP. I'm a multi-cloud architect. Okay, you can ask me if you have any questions with related to different cloud services also, any confusion. Okay, and also coming to the collaboration tool and the scripting. So scripting side, I'm good in writing the shell scripting in Python, Boto 3. Okay, so these are the different scriptings. So I have a knowledge in that. Okay, yeah, let's try to understand. So why you need to learn DevOps. Okay, so we understand the importance currently today. There's a huge business requirement whenever coming to this DevOps skill. Okay, as per our IT industry, the business insider or folks, they will take the surveys whenever it is coming to this market related skill sets. So currently this is one of the top rated skill, and which is required by the most of the organizations. If you go with the Indeed survey, Glassdoor survey, and Quora, you will find a lot of information, and compared to the salaries with other jobs, you will see a high margin. I would say 6 years in my experience. 6 years of experience guy. Those who from the DevOps, they are getting the two digits numbers like 27, 28 lakhs. This is just a minimum. Just giving, not exact. It is again may vary from one company to another company. It differ from one company to other company. Okay, so that's the kind of with a minimum 5 to 6 experience in DevOps. The candidates are getting with a good package whenever it is coming to the DevOps. Okay, so that's importance. So that's why we are more focusing on the DevOps, and we are trying to upskill ourselves. Okay, yeah. Now let's try to understand what exactly is the DevOps. Okay, so there if you go through any of the websites, there will be a lot of explanations, lot of definitions whenever it is coming to the DevOps. Okay, so is this DevOps is a automation scripting, or it is a cloud computing, or it is a culture, or a set of tools? Okay, so there are many explanations. Let's try to understand every area, and then we'll correlate each and every definition, and we'll try to understand what exactly is the DevOps. Okay, so here, so before we jump into the DevOps understanding, so what are the prerequisites? Being a DevOps engineer, we should be aware of the software development lifecycle. Okay, so why the DevOps engineer need to know about the software lifecycle? Okay, so the DevOps is a CI/CD process. Okay, whenever any developer they commit the code, it will go through some process that we are discussing about continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment. Okay, so DevOps term, it is having a developer and operations engineer. Okay, in further slides you are going to understand the difference between what is the dev and ops, and how we are going to make a unique role, DevOps engineer. Okay, so to understand that, to fill the gap between the developers and operations team, so we should have a knowledge on the software development cycle. So how software is going to build. Okay, let's understand what is the software life cycle before we go in detail to the DevOps. So we'll start with the software life cycle. Okay. Right. So let's say if any of the company and any of the the developer, they have a thought on idea to build some website. We have a nowadays we are seeing the Flipkart and Amazon. So these are the online retailers. Okay, online e-commerce websites. It's a product. Okay, it's an idea. If you are selling a product, okay, if you're selling a mobile phone over internet, it's an idea, right? So you have an idea to develop a e-commerce website. It's an idea. So how we are going to make a website, and how we are going to provide the high availability, how we are going to provide the scalability for your applications is totally depends on the software development lifecycle. If you wanted to develop this website, what are all the requirements you need? Okay, so there will be a process for any web application or a mobile application that you are going to develop. Okay, so what are the requirements for that? Okay, so if in order to develop a website, okay, and what sort of team you required to deliver your website. So let's take an example. For any of the website, you will be having a developers. Okay, so again the development is like, if you have a Java and you require a Java developers for your backend. If your application is going to design on the Python, you need the backend Python team. And similarly to the front end, if you're developing application on the React, you need a React team. Okay, so if you are developing your application on Angular, you require Angular. So there are the development team. Okay, so once you started developing your application, okay, so you have to ensure, the company have to ensure the application is, the developed code is producing a good quality. So how the organization is going to ensure the quality of your web application, that the development team is developing the website. Okay, so they will hire some testers, the testing team. So they will be going and performing some testings on your application. And if there are any bugs, again they will go back to the your development team. Hey, there is an issue. Again they will work on that issue and to improve the quality and from functionality. Okay, that is a role of the testers. Okay, and then coming to the operations team, like system admins. So here, the developers will develop the code, testers, they will test the code. Once they test the code, we need to deploy that application in some environments. Okay, if you have a dev environment, QA environment, production environment, you have to go and deploy. So there is a operations team involvement whenever it is coming to the application deployment on different environments. Okay, so once developer develop the code till to the production, there will be multiple stages are involved to deploy your applications to pass multiple environments. Okay, so there are the developers and the operations team who are going to deploy your application on different environments. Okay, these are the different teams that are involved when you are developing any web application, mobile application. Okay, this is a team structure at high level. Okay, it may be vary whenever it is coming to different organizations. Okay, yeah. Okay, so as part of the software development life cycle, okay, so there are different stages. Okay, so there are different stages. We generally name this as a SDLC process, software development life cycle. Okay, so in this first stage, if you wanted to develop a website, okay, if you wanted to develop a website like this, okay, let me open this. Right, so if any company wanted to develop a website like this, first, what is the basic requirement? First, they have to collect the requirements to develop this website. They need to understand the requirements to develop this e-commerce website. Okay, so that will be the first requirement for your software development lifecycle. So where you need to start with the requirements and collect the requirements, how the development is going to be, what are the features and who are the users, and what is the purpose of this application usage. Okay, and what exactly is the user requirements, like we end user requirements, and what is the currently market state for your product. So before you're developing any product as part of the software development life cycle, first you need to have a requirement gathering. So requirement gathering includes the product features, users, usage. Okay, so this is an example. You take any Amazon or Paytm, okay, any banking sector websites. So they will follow all this process before they develop and release any product. Product is nothing but a web application, web software, web application. Amazon, Flipkart is a one kind of a product, e-commerce product. Amazon is a one kind of product, Paytm is a one kind of a product. Okay, these are all the products. So any questions here in the requirements gathering? Okay, so this is where we start, not we, every organizations will start before they develop any of the application, any product. Okay, so once they collect the requirements, they will start planning how exactly they wanted to develop their website. So they will start planning for their website based on the inputs from the requirements. So once the planning stage is done, they will start the design. Okay, how UI is going to be there and how user login form is going to be there. Okay, so they are going to design like that. And then the fourth step is like development. So where once we have all these stages, then actually the developers sit and work on the coding side. So they will start writing the coding for the front end and the back end based on the design. So if your UI wants to have a good user interface, then based on that UI, the developers have to develop the website to achieve that. Okay, so then once developer they develop the code, again the quality team, the testing team will come into the picture. Okay, so they will start testing your application and they will identify the development is as per the planning and design, the functional testing and performance of the code. So they will do all the quality test and identify the defects to ensure they are delivering a good quality product. If end user is trying to access the application and it is very slow, then it is not a good product. So when you are developing any website, any company, they have to ensure they are producing a quality website, quality product. Otherwise, end user, the customers, they may not like if you have any issues with the functionality, performance, quality. They don't like, so there won't be any use to develop the product. Yeah. So once again, the development team, they develop the code and hand over it to the testing team. Then if the code passes the quality, then it is ready for the deployment. So where the operations team will come into the picture, they will take the code and collect the builds, and they will go and deploy on top of the servers. So here now you have seen again coming the different roles: developer, tester, and the operations. So once the operations team, they will deploy the code on different servers. So whenever coming to the application servers maintenance, okay, there will be again from operations side, we need to monitor the application. Is this application is up and running? And then we will be responsible for monitoring the system health, and we need to monitor the regular changes. Okay, regular changes like product team, they developed a new version. Again, that version requires some new updates. Earlier they developed the Java application on 1.8 1.7 version. Okay, now the new version requires 1.8. Okay, so then the operations team is going to upgrade the Java version before they deploy the application. So these are the kind of a regular changes where operations team is involved when they are going to deploy the applications in any of the environments. Okay, so this is the operations team role. Whenever it is coming to the application deployments, as part of our CI/CD, the SDLC lifecycle. So we will go through the different phases where we start with requirements, planning, designing, development, testing, deploy, and maintain. So this is a software development lifecycle. If you talk about the software development cycle, again there are the different types. Okay, there are different types in software development lifecycle. Okay, so earlier we used to follow the waterfall model. Now the Agile model came to the picture, and now it is more popular. Okay, and also we have a other the spiral and big bang, and we have a multiple software development lifecycle. But currently the most popular currently we are using the software development life cycle is a agile process. Okay, let's understand these two. Let's take an example of waterfall model and agile model, and what are the drawbacks that we have in the water model, and why currently now we are using the agile. Okay, so in DevOps process, so we will follow the agile model whenever it is coming to the SDLC. So that's why the DevOps team should be aware of this agile process. If you understand the agile process, you should also have a knowledge in what is a software development lifecycle. So that's why we are discussing the importance of software development lifecycle in our demo session. Okay, so let's see what is a waterfall model. In waterfall model, so we have again the same phases: requirement, design, implementation, testing, and the maintenance. But so here, if you take the waterfall model, what happens? So let's say you took 3 months of time to deliver your application. Okay, till 3 months you are unable to deliver any of the product feature, any of the single product feature. It's a you are unable to take the new requirements and develop within that period of time. So if you assume, if you are decided to develop some feature in that 3 months of period of time, you only have to work on that 3 months period of time. Then again there will be new requirements came to the customer. You are unable to take that, and you are unable to show that a concurrent progress. So waterfall model will have a drawback, right? It is having a one drawback: you are unable to deliver your product till the phase completes. Again, if you wanted to start a new feature development, again you have to wait for the next 3 months or 4 months. It's time bounded. If there are the requirements from the customers, it's keep on changing, there will be a problem with the waterfall model, because no working software is produced until late during the life cycle. So if you till you finish the software development cycle, then you will go for the again second feature, then you will go again for the third feature. At least a waterfall model will not support showing the immediate developments. So customer have to wait for the time to see the actual product. So that's earlier the waterfall model used to be followed by the organizations, but they have identified that if there are multiple continuous frequent features and changes to the application, this waterfall model is consuming more time to deliver the application. So that is impacting the business a lot. Okay, so that's why nowadays everyone is started using the agile model. So in that agile model, instead of taking a long period of time, 2 months, 3 months, any message? Okay, yeah. So let's compare the waterfall model with the agile model. Okay, so waterfall model will take a long time schedule to till that we don't release any of the feature, and customer have to keep on wait. Okay, but whenever coming to the agile model, it's all pieces and bits. We will deliver the application in bits and pieces. Let's say in agile model we have a concept sprint. Sprint is like 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks you have to deliver something and you have to show the demo. So in that 2 weeks again the development team, they will plan all the requirement features, what are that are needs to be developed. Okay, in the same sprint the development will start work on the features, and in that sprint the the business team again they will collect the new requirements, and they will try to align that in the coming sprints. For every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks there will be a sprint. After the sprint, the organization team will sit and have a demo. What are the the changes, the developments are happened to that website, and they will collect the feedback. If any changes are required, again they will start on the improvement process. It's a only bits and pieces. Every 2 weeks you have to show some progress. Let's say in first week, in first sprint, there are like 4 items, so like 4 tasks. So there are 4 user stories. So you have to design a welcome page, and you have to design the look, and you have to design the dashboard, and you have to design the gallery. So you have to finish this in 2 weeks, so that in 2 weeks there is some functionalities ready, so that business can test this functionality. Okay, if it is a 3 months of time, it's a 4 month, it's a 4 week, it's a 1 month of time. Okay, so customer have to wait to see this actual all features. Okay, so if you have to wait for the end of the month to see the welcome page, look, dashboard, list of the products, discounts, notifications, customer support chart, whatever the options, you have to wait at the end of the month. Okay, so you have waited for 4 months. At the end of the month, if any of the functionality is not working, then again they have to go back and rework. So that's why there is a delay while delivering the application if we are using the waterfall model. But here in 2 to 4 weeks, okay, in first 2 sprints, you will work on these features. So this will be released, and again released to the production also. It will pass through the different environments. First two sprints are only for developing the application. Once they develop the application, again it will go for different stages, testing and the code quality until the production, so that customer is able to test the application within a short period of time. That is the advantage of the agile model. So that's why nowadays everyone, if you join in any organization, and if you working for any of the DevOps project, you will be part of this agile cycle. There will be a sprint call will run on every day. Okay, scrum call. Okay, in the agile process there is another method, scrum. So during the scrum call every day, there will be a scrum master is going to ask you on your day-to-day responsibilities, day-to-day progress. It is not the responsibilities, it's the progress. Every day you have to update your progress on your tasks, your stories. Okay, so here you see different tools whenever it is coming to the agile process. Most of the organizations, they are using Jira. How many of you are aware of the tool Jira? Just raise your hand in the chat. Okay, and also there is another tool, Rally Board. Okay, there are different tools, and somebody started using the GitHub. So GitHub also have the feature whatever the Jira is having, where there also you can follow the sprints. Okay, so in that agile method, how we are going to work is, once you assign to any of the DevOps project, okay, you will be having a sprint. In the sprint, task will be assigned to you. It's a user story. Okay, that user story will have a different tasks. So you are responsible for automating the infrastructure. This is a kind of a user story. Okay, then you have to write automating the infrastructure using the Terraform or the cloud formation. These are the different tasks that you have to create. You have to write some charts, you have to write some scripts. These are the different tasks under the user story. Okay, so that's why you should be aware of this agile model, why the development team using for their day-to-day activities. Okay, so that is advantage with the agile model, so that everybody can test the application, and they will get the feedback for every 2 weeks. They don't need to wait for a long period of time. Okay, yeah, so now we will end up with our software development life cycle, and then we will actually jump into the next build phase. So far we have discussed about only the development and finishing the tasks. So now we are going to start about the actual build and deploy, where our role will come to the picture. So here, up to here, any questions from anyone? Whenever it is coming to the waterfall model, the software development lifecycle, agile process, how we are going to work, and why you are related with this process. Any questions? Okay, so I assume no. Okay, So let's start understanding the build and deploy process in the organizations. Okay, once the developer commits the code and so how it is going to build and deploy in the environments. Okay, you have a Java application, you will go and first for Java it is a different approach for building the application. If it is a node application, there is a different process to build the application. If it is a PHP application, there is a different way to build the application. It is based on the applications, there will be a different approach for building the application. But coming to the process side, okay, so once the developer, it could be any developer, Java developer, .NET developer, or Golang developer, once they commit the code, so what is the next approach? Because being a DevOps engineer, where our job is going to start here exactly. Okay, so we will be responsible for building the applications for the programming language, different programming languages, and we will be responsible for managing the builds which are generated by the application, and we are responsible for managing and deploying in different environments. We need to understand the approach, how exactly this build and deploy this life cycle works in the real-time industry. Okay, let's assume that you deploy, you are the developer committed the code and you created the build. Okay, so whenever the developer develop and test the code, they will be having a one dev environment, so they will develop that in the deploy that in their development environment, then they will hand over it to the staging environment. So in that, builds are deployed to the stage environment for verifying all the functionalities, so that testing team can access this staging environment and identify and verify the code quality. Okay, so once everything is good, the code will be moved to the production. So here I'm again repeating, so once the build is ready, first a dev team is going to deploy on their development test environment, then they will verify, and again it is going to the staging environment, and then it is going to the production environment. There will be multiple staging environments, multiple persons involvement is required. Okay, so once you push the code to the development environment, so the developer from his side, he will verify the functionality is working, what the feature he developed. Okay, so he feels that yes, this build is perfectly working, now this can be moved to the staging environment. Again he will approach the DevOps engineer, so he will go operations engineer, then he will go and deploy that into the stage environment. Again the stage QA team will verify the application and they will certify the functionality, then again operations team, they will go and deploy into the production. Okay, so these are the different process. Once the build is ready, you have to go through different environments: development environment, stage environment, and production environment. Okay, so there is a delay if you are doing this manually, like handovering the code to the operations team for the deployments. Okay, that's why we see in our next slides how exactly there is a delay while delivering the application from different stages. One developer tests the code, you cannot hardly go and directly deploy into the production. There will be a time delay if you're handovering to the operations team, and if there are any issues, that we will discuss in further sessions. Let's just here, only your focus is on just flow. Once the build is ready, the developer test in the development environment, then he will move to the higher environment. The lower environment is a staging environment. There the testing team will come to the picture, they will verify the code, and then if they certify, the code will be moved to the production environment. There are different stages involved once the commit code is uploaded to the Git. Okay, yeah, so here developer, they developed the code and verified that. Now there will be a job for the software testers, they have to verify the functionality, because they are going to certify the application. Then developer came and is saying in their environment it is working, but when the software testing team is verifying, they are unable to test that application, they are getting some new issues with that application. Then QA team will go back to the development team. They will ask, hey, this application functionality is not working in the staging environment. But their development team says it is working in my local. So this application is working, the functionality is working on our dev environments, but it is not working in the QA environment. So where is the issue? The issue is with the code, or the issue with the infrastructure, or the problem with the testing with the QA team. The developer says this code is working in my local. Okay, yeah. So now let's understand why whenever you move the code from development to staging and staging to the production, what are the possible causes that are going to fail? Because it is going hand by hand. In development environment, you have some different version of your Java. In QA environments, you have a different version of Java. Maybe a different library is updated as part of the patching. In development team, it is not patched up. There are some OS related packages, development code related libraries are updated. Okay, there might be a different issues that may occur when you move one environment to another environment. Sometimes you updated application is running on the Python some dependence. In Python also you have a different libraries. One library is having some 2.x. As part of the OS upgrade, it is updated to the 3.x, but that is not updated in the development environment. But the developer is unable to identify that issue in their dev environment because the libraries is running on the 2.x version, but in QA it is running on the 3.x version, where the code whatever they have developed, it is not supporting for the 3.x. Now this is a one kind of an example. Okay, why the code exactly will not work whenever you move to the environment. So you should have environment consistency also. Whatever the development environment you have with the developer, the same environment, same libraries have to be followed in the higher environments. So there might be a chances of missing few things because of the manual work. Okay, because of the transition from the development team to the operations team while developing the application, we may miss few steps because they either they did not properly transition for the deploying the application. Okay, there are different challenges while moving your code from your lower environments to higher environments. So what is happening and what is causing the delays? Okay, there are different issues what we have discussed, but how we are going to address that, because it is impacting the delays in the delivery of the product. It is we committed to the customer to release the product so and so date. Okay, why we need to achieve the delivery within time? Otherwise, what is the business impact? Okay, let's take this example. Okay, one of your, let me open your one of favorite website. Okay, so here I have opened again I came back to this e-commerce website. Okay, so let's go back to the one example. So I hope you all aware of the Flipkart Big Billion Days. Okay, so during this time, let's say now coming the new festival is like our Independence Day from August 5th on August 15th. Okay, so there they're offering a few discounts. They plan to provide some discounts between some August 13th to 15th. Okay, so 3 days they wanted to introduce some 10 to 15% discount on different products. This is a business requirement. Okay, so they have around 1 month. Assume that they have around 1 month, and within 1 month they should be able to release the product new version, because it should support for the discounts, 10 to 15% discount. Okay, if we have a challenges by handovering the build to multiple environments, if you're having the issues with the environment or because of the person, okay, because it is not properly transitioned for deploying the builds, so this Flipkart is unable to deliver this website, unable to target to provide 15% discount on certain products from August 13 to 15. There will be all these, that's what there is a loss to this customer, to the application when you are releasing the application and delivering the application. So we need to understand, avoid the delays. There is an operations team. Okay, so possible what is happening to my possible reason. Yeah,
Chakri, your voice is cracking.
what we have discussed
Unable to
with
hear.
AI, and the continuous back and operations team will provide. Can you hear me?
Yes, Chakri.
Hello,
Yeah,
Yes,
now we
Chakri.
can hear you. Previously, if two
is my
times
voice is
the
audible?
voice got cracked.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me repeat that. Okay, so whatever the example that we have taken, the Flipkart example. Okay, so if there is a delay in the delivering the feature in certain period of time, there will be a business loss to the customer. Okay, so that is a slide actually I'm going to show you here. That's it. Okay, yeah. So these are all the issues that we have discussed. Okay, so when they are passing the code to the operations team, okay, they will be have a different approach and there will be no proper transitioning. So that's why there is always a firefighting between the development team to the operations team whenever it is coming to the deployments and providing the application availability when they are planned the releases. There always a fight between these two guys. One second. Okay, yeah. So how exactly we are going to address this? So because all the delays are impacting whenever it is coming to the development and the deployment. So because multiple people are involved whenever it is coming to the deployment for the applications. So to address this problem, there is a new role has been created, that is the DevOps engineer. So he's going to take care of the builds and to ensure that is properly delivered and deployed on the production without any further delays. So that's why this role has come up, and it is nowadays more popular to address all these issues because every business needs DevOps engineers, because there will be multiple products they develop. One company, they won't develop only one product, they will develop multiple applications, they will release multiple builds, they will test multiple applications in their organizations, and they will deploy multiple environments in their infrastructure. Okay, so this is the the current existing issues that are facing by the multiple companies. So to address that, the solution is to follow the CI/CD approach and have a DevOps implemented in every organization. That is totally automated. There won't be any manual intervention. There won't be any even the testing is also automated, build is also automated, deployment is also automated. These are all the things are automated with the help of this CI/CD approach. So that's where we come into the picture. So that is the importance, and the need for the companies. Okay. So yeah, DevOps engineer is going to play a role, and he will be the taking care of the all the application related builds, and he will be responsible for till the deployment. Okay, so DevOps engineer is also part of the collaborating and communication when they are going to develop any product. He will be part of the daily discussions along with the development team. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm saying like the DevOps is like automation. Okay, so what you need to automate, and how we are going to automate the build process, and how we are going to automate the testing process, how we are going to automate the deployment process, how we are going to automate your infrastructure, how we are going to automate your maintenance of your infrastructure. Okay, so this is what now we are going to understand in detail. So what are the roles and responsibilities for the DevOps engineer? So once the developer commit the code, the build should be triggered automatically. The build should be triggered automatically. So once the application build is ready, it is ready for the testing. In few of the companies, they're still depending on the testing manually, but most of the organizations, they have started automating their testing use cases. They have written some automated the use cases, and testing it is in automated way. So we have a Selenium and these tools to automate the test cases, so that automatically, if you wanted to test the application automatically, like it will automatically log into the Flipkart, and it will automatically check few functionalities, and automatically it will take the screenshot of the functionality, and it will generate a PDF report, and it will send it to the end user who is required. So this is the kind of a automation testing is in place right now today. And software testing, the code quality, okay, whether the this application is having any vulnerabilities, is there any way of chance to open the loophole to the hackers. Okay, so there will be again, you can go for the code quality and software related testing. Okay, and there might be infra side changes and the deployments. So these are all we are responsible for this DevOps. Being a DevOps engineer will be responsible for taking care of all these activities. If it is a Java application, you should know how to build the Java application. Okay, if it is a Node application, you should know how to build the Node application. If you know PHP application, you should know the PHP application, the build side. Okay, so they are the different applications. You should have a knowledge on the build part, not writing the code. You should not worried about how to write a Java application, how to write. You should know only how to build and how to maintain it. Okay, yeah, let's start understanding our DevOps lifecycle. Okay, so in our DevOps lifecycle, so we will start with the whenever developer commits a code, so the code will be committed to the GitHub or any of the one of the source code repository. Then we should write create some build, and we need to store that in some artifactory storage. So artifactory is your the output of your build. If it is a Java, it could be a war file or jar file. Okay, if it is a node, it could be a dist folder, build folder. That's the artifact. You need to store that build file in some location, because if something let's say today you released some functionalities, okay, and you stored that build in somewhere. And after that, after today, again in next 2 months, you released one build that is broken. It is not working properly. So if you have an artifact stored somewhere, the build is stored somewhere, so that you can take that build and deploy directly, into the production, so that it will easily, you can get it rolled back to the previous stage. So that's why we store all of our artifacts in a central location, so that we can easily roll back your code. Okay, so once build is done, again you have to go through with the testing, and again you have to go through with the code analysis to understand what are the vulnerabilities, and the best practices are applied or not for the programming side. And whenever it is coming to the delivery, so we should track the deployment stages to the staging, and then if staging is done, then all the security changes are applied. Then it will go for again software testing. There we will perform, not we, the tools will perform the QA, functional testing, load testing, performance testing. So all it is passed the software testing, then it will go for the production. Then at the end, once application is deployed into the production, then again end users have to verify that application. Like if Flipkart is deployed to the production, we are using the flipkart.com is our production URL. So internally they will be having a multiple URLs like dev.flipkart, qa.flipkart. So they might have these things, but the production is the which we are using in our day-to-day life to purchase something is a Flipkart. It's a production user approval. So they also have a customer. Flipkart is also have their internal users who they will log into the application Flipkart, and they will try it, and they will take the feedback from the end users if it is okay, and any improvements are required for the production. So that they will take care in the next version. So this is the flow for the total application. Whenever any product is designed, there are different phases for the development, testing, and delivery. Once it is moved to the production, again we need to monitor the application. So DevOps job is not is only taking care of the deployments. Once you deploy the product in different environments, you also responsible for the monitoring. You're also responsible for the monitoring your application. So that's why the DevOps is it's like you release, configure, monitor. You need to plan. It's a complete it's a cycle. So you have to plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate. So all stages are involved. This is a DevOps workflow. Whenever it's a continuous delivery, continuous integration. So where we start with the development will start with agile development. So once they commit the code, so there will be a start of continuous integration. Continuous integration is like you need to start building your application. That's the integration tools. Then once your build is ready, and it is ready for deployment after passing the test cases, and then it will go for the continuous delivery. So DevOps includes this workflow. So you need to plan, code, build, test, and then release. Again, you need to deploy that, and you need to manage that. So we should be able to understand this workflow. Okay. So what are the tools? So now we are entering into the actual tools. So far we discussed about only the theory of the DevOps and how we really are involved in different phases, and who will be responsible for what, and why this DevOps come to the picture. Okay, yeah. So now we'll start understanding the different tools where we are going to focus on these tools. So in our coming sessions, you are going to get a hands-on knowledge on different tools. So that we are going to start and discuss now with the help of this DevOps lifecycle. Okay, yeah. So we discussed it, right? Once the developer they develop the code, so simply what they will do on their local machine, they will simply commit the code to the any of the Git repository. So they will have a version control system. Okay, so why we need to have a version control system in all the companies? Okay, what is a version control management system? So we are saying Git is a version control management system. Source code management. Why you need to manage the source code? Okay, why you need to manage the source code is, okay, let me minimize this. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, so let's take an example. So this is a source code, it's deployed into the production as on today. Okay, and tomorrow they see, earlier it was 11,999, and they changed the pricing to some 7,649, and tomorrow they may increase or they decrease. It depends on the demand of this product. Okay, demand on this product. If it is very low sales, they may bring down this price. If the sales are high, they may increase the price. Okay, so where you are keeping this? So there are, you increase the price, nobody is selling your product, nobody is selling your product. So what again companies will do? They will again reduce the price. They will again reduce the price and see if the sales are improved for this mobile product. Okay, so why you need to keep the changes? If you wanted to see what are the changes you have done earlier, and again if you wanted to move to the next stage, you need to again understand what is the price. And if you want, if this price is very low, again you need to reduce the price, again what you have quoted. If the demand is high, again you can increase the price to above this 12,000, maybe 12,500, like that. So if you're making a simple change to these products, they have a different products under the mobile section. Okay, they have different products under the mobile section. For each and every mobile product, how they are going to manage the changes? If you're not tracking, so after the 6 months, you're unable to trace what would be the price for this. So that's the reason you also first you need to manage your source code centrally. Okay, and you need to track what are all the changes that you are making. Okay, if you are selling this Infinix the product, okay, what is the price that you are offering today? And after 3 months, what is the discount you are going to offer? And what is the product state after the 6 months? You wanted to increase or decrease? So you need to keep all track of these changes for this only this product, because they have a multiple products. How they are going to track? So for that reason, every organization requires version control system, source code management. That is what the Git. Okay, as part of the course, you are going to understand what is the source code management, and what are the different tools are available in the market. So Git is a version control system, but different tools like we have currently in the market: GitHub and Bitbucket, okay, GitLab, and Azure DevOps. There are the different tools are available to manage your source code. Okay, so this is we are going to learn in our coming sessions. Okay, and using this, once developer commits the code, again you need to follow, get the changes, and you need to build the application, and you need to run the test, and you need to build the artifact. So up to here we will use Jenkins. Okay, so we use the Jenkins, an integration tool, where you are going to understand and how to configure and what is a Jenkins, and what are the different plugins are available. And if it is a Java application, how we are going to write a pipeline for that. If it is a Node application, how we are going to write the pipeline, and how to run the test cases for Java, how to run the test cases for Node. Okay, and how we are storing the artifacts. Once your build is ready, you need to store your artifact in somewhere. Okay, you need to store the artifacts. So in our sessions, we are going to store our the builds, whatever is generated by Jenkins. If it is a Java, we use the Maven as a build tool, and we will store that in our Sonar type Nexus. Okay, we will store that in our, and also I will show you similar AWS service, because we are doing the DevOps on AWS, and you can store your artifacts into AWS S3 bucket also. Okay, so that also will be part of our session. Okay, once environment is, application build is ready, and you stored your artifact, then you need to have an environment. Okay, let's say if an application is having app, web, database, it's a three-tier application. Okay, you need to have a app server, web server, database server. Okay, so here in our sessions we are going to deploy the application on our only AWS environments. I will show you local also how you deploy this product. We have a one application, so that I will show you how to deploy this on your local, and also as well as using the Amazon Web Services. Okay, so where we will discuss Amazon different services, compute environment. So in that you have EC2. Okay, and then we will discuss about the container services, ECS, and then we will discuss about the EK service, Elastic Kubernetes service, whenever it is coming to the provisioning the environment. Okay, so environment is fine. Okay, AWS is fine, but how we are going to provision? You need to create a virtual machine. How we are going to create that? You need to create Elastic Kubernetes service, Kubernetes engine on AWS. You are going to create an Elastic container service on AWS. How we are going to do that? So here we are going to use the Terraform, so where it is going to help you in automating the AWS infrastructure. Okay, so that's where we are going to discuss about infrastructure as a code, IAC, as part of provisioning the environment. Okay, once you provision the environment, how we are going to manage your environments? That's where our configuration management will come to the picture. So where we will be going to discuss about the Ansible. Let's say you wanted to update any of the Python library. So you have a Python 2.7 in your existing environment, but the new code that is supporting Python 3 version. Because why development team has changed Python 2.7 to Python 3? Because Python itself, they have started supporting 2.7, I guess, in the year of 2019 or 20 early. Okay, then if your application is developed on Python 2.7, it is not going to work because Python itself, they stopped the support. Okay, so that is a one example. So if you assume that you have a 50 environments that are running on Python 2.7, now this new code is a change. It will only work on Python 3. So what you have to do is, again, you have to update your all environments with Python 3. So it's a change. So you need to update. So you need to manage your environments. So that's where your configuration management will come to the picture. If you're doing manually on every system, it is going to take a lot of time. So that's why the configuration management is also automated. That's where the Ansible is one of the more popular configuration tool. Chef is also one of the one of the popular configuration tool. Let's take an example of Java. Earlier you have a Java 86, that is 32-bit and 64-bit version. But the Arkel has stopped releasing the 32-bit version of Java, and now they started, I guess it's 3 years back. So they're only releasing the 64-bit Java. Okay, if any applications that are running on 32-bit, it is not going to work with the latest versions. It's a change. How we are going to monitor? Let's say if company is having hundreds of Java applications, different products deployed on Java, 100% they are running on 32-bit environments. Now Oracle has changed the version only to run on 64 engine, the Java. Again, you have to update all the environments. Okay, so that's where we use the configuration management. Okay, so these are the different tools. That's what we discussed in this DevOps lifecycle. We will go through with Git, Jenkins, and the Docker, and and the Kubernetes. In Docker and Kubernetes, you will see the AWS version. In on-premises, you have a Docker desktop, and in on-premises, you have a Kubernetes. You can do it on your local. Don't worry about the AWS. If you're okay to take the AWS demo version, the free trial account, so you can have a flexibility to work with the ECS container service. It is similar to Docker, and the Kubernetes similar related engine EKS. You can go and create and play around with that. Okay, so we will parallelly discuss on the AWS side also, the Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, so yeah, so these are the the different tools that are part of our coming sessions. Okay, and also the script, Python scripting. Let me directly go back to there. Okay, so yeah, so before that, let's understand the DevOps skill sets. Okay, why we are discussing all this. So as part of the DevOps lifecycle, so we have gone through some steps, and we discussed about the tools that we are going to learn as part of our coming sessions. Okay, yeah. So here these are the DevOps skill sets. So you need to have a system knowledge, like the basic system knowledge. So how to copy, paste, and you should be able to work with your mostly with the Linux system. So okay, so where we will
Sorry,
discuss
I
about
haven't had any idea about Linux. They said
yeah the
that
basic
you
yeah.
I haven't had
So
any Linux environment. So you'll be teaching the basics of Linux too.
yes, yes. So first we will understand what are the skill set you need and how we are going to train you, because today you don't
Sure,
have a system knowledge. But as part of this session, the coming sessions, we will cover and we will start with the only Linux basics. Okay,
sure,
you need not
sure.
be an administrator in the Linux. You need not be an expert in the Linux. You should know,
Okay,
okay,
fine.
if something is deployed, how to verify. You wanted to copy something, how to copy. You want to write something, you want to write some configuration, how to do that. It's a
Sure.
normal day-to-day operations. How we are working with Windows, the same you see in the Linux. And don't expect the Linux administration skills. It's only end user skills. So you should be
Yeah,
aware
what
of
is
the Linux.
required for the DevOps? That's enough, actually.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So systems knowledge, where we are going to discuss about the basic the Linux fundamentals, and infrastructure knowledge. Infrastructure knowledge is like what is a server, what is a database, what is IP addressing. Okay. And what is a DNS. So this is all related to infrastructure knowledge we are going to cover as part of our training. And also cloud computing skills. Nowadays, you touch anyone, they talk about AWS, they talk about Azure, they talk about GCP. So what is a cloud computing? Okay, so where we will start understanding the cloud computing skills. Okay, what are the different types are available in the okay, cloud computing? We are talking about the private cloud, somebody is talking about the public cloud, somebody is talking about the hybrid cloud, somebody is talking like infrastructure as a service, somebody is talking as a platform as a service, somebody is talking about storage as a service. What are all this nonsense? Okay, that we will discuss in our cloud computing skills. You will understand what are all these terms and how exactly we are using. Okay, and we are also hearing SaaS, software as a service. Okay, so whenever this cloud computing era comes, this no, this is a popular word, SaaS, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. How exactly we understand that? Okay, that you are going to learn as part of our cloud computing skills. And also the development SDLC knowledge that we discussed it today, that is fair enough. Okay, but the tools and how to create a story and all, so we will go through that a little bit, understanding SDLC knowledge. Okay, and build and release automation, continuous integration. So for this we will go through with the Jenkins, so where it is going to take care of the build and release automation and continuous integration. And also we are saying AWS. Now, how we are going to do that in AWS? So in AWS, we use code commit for the source code management, and code build is for build and release automation. Okay, so that's the another skill set, and also automation of OS tasks. So automation of OS tasks. That just I have given one example. Earlier, Java is 32-bit is available. Now they stopped at 32-bit version, and now currently we are using only Java 64-bit version. Okay, and you need to update the patches. You need to see, administrators are there, system administrators are there to identify some issue, but not for day to day these repeated tasks. Even from window the Linux side also, operating system side also, such tasks are automated. Regular tasks, patching, OS patching is automated. How we are going to automate? If you wanted to install some software using some batch scripting, Okay, we will discuss about some shell scripting here. I will explain about some shell scripting, how to automate the tasks which are related to OS. That also will be covered as part of this automation of OS tasks. Okay, then orchestration of a continuous delivery process. Orchestration is like, so here we will talk about the containerization. Okay, so being a DevOps engineer, you should have a knowledge on virtual machine. What is a virtual machine? What is a physical server? What is a containerization? So containerization is, we will discuss that in our coming DevOps, the Docker topics. So you should have a knowledge, handling the containerized applications. So there we will discuss Docker and Kubernetes. Docker is in its a containerization. We will manage the containers with the help of Kubernetes. Kubernetes is an orchestration tool. Okay, so if your applications you are deploying on Docker and Kubernetes, how we are going to integrate and deploy? If it is a virtual machine, how we are going to deploy? Okay, that's all we will discuss in the orchestration and the continuous delivery process, and you should have that knowledge. Network and security knowledge. You deploy some application, it's automated process. Application is running on port 80. Once you deploy the application, you have to ensure that port 80 is open, because our infrastructure is also automated. Okay, in AWS you have a concept. You deployed an application on EC2 instance, that application is running on 80, so you have to open a security group for your EC2 instance. Then only you can access the application over the internet. Okay, so that's why you should have a knowledge on the basic understanding of network and security knowledge that we are providing. Okay, the same containerization what we discussed in the orchestration of continuous delivery process. Okay, so this is a DevOps skill set. I would call it as a stack. So here you should have all the skill set: system knowledge, infrastructure, cloud computing, SDLC process. This is in a process. You need to understand there is nothing to do with any technical stuff here. Development of SDLC, you should just only have the knowledge, because you will be part of your Agile methodology. If you don't know the Agile, you don't know how to work. They assign the task, you don't know how to do the task and when to finish and what is the time bound for that. So that's why you should have a knowledge of SDLC knowledge and with Agile methodology. Okay, build, release, automation, orchestration, network security, and containerization. So these are the skill sets a DevOps engineer needed. Any questions here?
No.
Okay, yeah, so in our coming sessions, as part of this DevOps and AWS, we are going to cover all these areas. Here only I specified the skill set, and then we will go through in each individual services, the technologies. Okay, yeah. So what we are going to cover in this course? Okay, so there will be a project that I am going to explain. It's a builder book application. It's a this application is built on React. The front end is built on React and Material US, and the back end will work on Express.js and Node.js and Mongoose, all related to JavaScript, and it is using the database MongoDB. Okay, and it is having some other services. It's application related for authentication purpose, Google Open Authentication, and Amazon simple email service, and a MailChimp for emails. So this application is a stack which is running. You can run this on premises also. So first we will try to deploy this in our on premises. Okay, and then we will see how to deploy this as a container on the Docker, and then again you will see how to deploy the same on Kubernetes. Three different types of tasks you are going to perform with this builder book application. Okay, this application looks like, let me show you. It's an open source application. Okay, so this application looks like the builder book. So you can write something, the documentation. Okay, if you wanted to manage your document for your related your application or your company, you can write some documentation. Else you wanted to sell some books, yes, you can use this application for selling your books. Okay, buy book. So this is a kind of a application where it will go for the authentication. You need to authenticate. This is a open source application. Okay, with the help of this, this is a one product I'm taking as an example, and we will walk through our entire training session, and we will take this product as an example, and you will deploy on your local. It's a normal native setup, and you will deploy this on the Docker so that you will get hands on your Docker, and you will deploy this on Kubernetes, and then you will understand how to deploy this on Kubernetes. And again, you will the same you will deploy on AWS. So how we are going to deploy this on AWS. Okay, so this is the kind of a project that we are going to discuss in our training session. Okay, so and we are going to replace some services. Let's wait, it is loading. Yeah, so we are going to replace this when we are working with the AWS. Okay, so here is a database is a MongoDB. Okay, you can run this as a container, or else we can use this AWS native service DynamoDB. Okay, in AWS we have a DynamoDB which is going to replace this MongoDB. Okay, these are the changes that you are going to see as part of your project. How we are going to replace this MongoDB and integrating Amazon DynamoDB with this application. Okay, so this is a project that we are going to discuss in our training session, and all the training session will be again based on this application. Okay, because we will first the topics we will discuss about the Linux and virtualization, and then we will discuss about setting up our builder book project setup, and then we will discuss some basic concepts on AWS, and we will keep our source code related to builder book in one of the source code GitHub, and also the code commit. Okay, and then we will try to use the build. It is not Maven. I will show you for Java application also. For it is a node application, we will use npm as a build. And coming to the scripting part, we will discuss about the bash scripting and also Python fundamentals. All the we'll go in detail the fundamentals, and we will discuss about the Ansible. Okay, and then we will jump into the AWS part 2, and I will discuss what are the services are coming under the AWS part 2, and it's a similar Docker and Kubernetes. Terraform is for the automation, infrastructure automation. Okay, so as part of our sessions, you will again set up these are your local machines. If you want, you can do basics. You can play around the Linux commands, and you can set up server management in your Linux, and you can install Vagrant is a kind of a virtualization automation tool that you will set up on your local system. Okay, and also the basic concepts of networking.
Chakri?
Shakri, are you there? We are not able to hear you.
So yeah, as part of the the training sessions, you have to set up your project and your locally. First, we will show you how to set up this locally, and then we will go through with the AWS services, cloud computing introduction, what is IAM, EC2. Okay, and these are the different services that we are going to discuss. Okay, and the how we are going to set up the architecture on the AWS, that I will again we will discuss how it is going to be on the AWS. And in the step 3, you are going to set up your source control system and building the Java application code and also the Node application. Like we have a different projects. Our focus is on the Node application, and you will be going to integrate your Jenkins with the build book application and the different Java applications. With your own hands, you have to write the Jenkins file and the Docker implementation file, and you have to implement this whole pipeline as part of this project end to end. So you have to write, you have to manage your source code for that any this project, and you have to identify what is the changes that you are going to that are going to happen in that source code, and how you are going to build your application, and how you are going to test the application with the help of some testing tools, and how it is going to deploy and store that your artifactory in JFrog Artifactory or AWS S3. Okay, and how you are going to deploy them on top of in the production. Okay, so you have to go through all this CI/CD pipeline. Every step you only have to perform with our guidance. Okay, in this project setup. Then we will go through with bash scripting. So as a part of the bash scripting, you need to understand what are the variables, condition, okay, loops, okay, and how to automate our day-to-day admin tasks. Like I said, so you wanted to install some patch on some Linux 10 machines. Okay, this is one kind of a small automation task. Okay, and in some time you need to restart in some schedule time. Okay, one particular service that required restart on every 2 weeks to fetch something. So these are the kind of a small automation tasks, how to do that with the help of the basic scripting. Okay, and then we will start discuss about the Python scripting. As part of the Python scripting, you will go through and understand what are the variables and what are the different data types, and what are the conditions, loops, functions, and the different modules. We don't go in detail. These are all the Python fundamentals. We didn't jump into the OOPS concept. We'll only stick to our what is related for being a DevOps engineer, what you need to automate for this DevOps activities. We will stick to that. Okay, these are the the fundamentals that you require to automate any task using the the bash scripting and also the Python. Okay, so we will cover this. Okay, and whenever it is coming to the configuration management, we will discuss about the Ansible. Okay, and then again we use the same project and provision the different environments for our project is required with the help of Ansible. Okay, and after finishing the Ansible, again we will go back to our AWS and we will start discussing about some core concepts. Okay, the networking side, VPC. Okay, and then how do you manage your log management on AWS? Okay, that is a CloudWatch and AWS command line interface, and there will be also AWS. If you are using AWS CLI, then how to perform. So CLI is nothing like, okay, so you have a AWS console. Okay, that everything you can perform using the AWS console. If you go to AWS Amazon.aws, okay, if you go to the aws.amazon.com, so everything you can perform from a user interface. Okay, user interface, but you cannot automate anything using the user interface. It's a manual, you can go and create everything activity, but it is a time consuming. As a layman, as an end user, simply you can log into the AWS manually and you can create a virtual machines manually. Okay, but if you wanted to do it from the same, you can do from the command line also. So there will be a command line tool. Okay, there will be a command line tool is also available, so that you have to AWS configure list. Okay, so we will install the AWS command line tool and we will try to manage our AWS environments from the command line. Okay, from the command line AWS is, let's see if this role is having a permission. Okay, from here I can see what are the what are the different buckets I have in my AWS account. I don't need to log into really AWS console. From my system, if I have a AWS CLI setup, and if I configure the credentials which are related to AWS account, so from here only I can directly talk to my AWS environment. Really, I don't need to again go here and log in and go to S3 and verify. Okay, so yeah, that's another way of managing the tasks, because for everything we don't need log into the user interface, the console every time. You can do majority of the tasks from command line. So we will discuss about the command line and the tools as part of the sessions. And then the beanstalk, RDS, and code commit. Code commit, these are from AWS native tools. Code commit is going to replace the GitHub. Code build is going to replace your Jenkins. Code pipeline is also going to replace your Jenkins deployment side. Okay, so these are all the AWS different services that we are going to cover as part of our the training sessions. We will be covering on-premises, DevOps, and also the AWS. In AWS also we have a different set of tools: code commit, code build, and deploy. And for entire pipeline, so you have a AWS pipeline also. Okay. Yeah, it's same again in the step 7. The same again we will talk about the Docker and Kubernetes. So when we are, these are all the related to containerization. Okay, so Docker is a containerization and Kubernetes is an orchestration tool. So you will know what is a Docker and how to configure it on your local. Okay, and what are the Docker volumes and how to create Docker networks, Docker store. Okay, this is all we will discuss. And similarly, we will talk about the AWS ECS also. What is the AWS ECS? How how we can create the AWS ECS cluster and how to deploy the application. When we are discussing about the Docker, we will talk about the Docker Compose. Because you wanted to deploy multiple applications on top of a Docker, you need to write a Docker Compose. But if you wanted to deploy on the AWS ECS, you should know how to write a task definition. Okay, so task definition. If you're talking about the AWS ECS containerization service, similar to Docker. Okay, then we will jump into the Kubernetes and I will go through the Kubernetes topics and how to create a Kubernetes cluster, how to manage the pods, services, controllers, replicas. These are all the topics we will discuss in Kubernetes. So you can set up this on your local also. And in parallel, we will discuss about what is AWS Elastic Kubernetes service and how do we create a cluster and how do we manage and what is the difference between on-premises Kubernetes to the AWS EKS and how the companies are going to get the benefit if they move their Kubernetes environments to the AWS. Because now the cloud becomes more popular. What are the benefits? You are running Kubernetes in on-premises, but what is the additional benefit the companies are going to get if they move their Kubernetes environment to AWS EKS? What is the benefit? Here also you have a Kubernetes, in AWS also you have a Kubernetes. What is the benefit and what is the difference? Okay, that's we are going to understand in detail. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's all we discuss in our sessions. Okay, and at the final you also will get the the Terraform videos, some additional stuff with related to AWS infrastructure. Whenever it is coming to the infrastructure automation, so we use normally in on-premises Terraform. So Terraform is infrastructure automation tool. So you can create your infrastructure, the VMs, you can automate. Okay, and also with the help of Terraform, you can automate AWS infrastructure, you can automate GCP, you can automate the Azure. And also from AWS side, every cloud service provider, they are coming up with their own native tool. Okay, so Terraform is already having, then why again you have to learn CloudFormation? Okay, so maybe you hear this, somebody is using CloudFormation, somebody is using Terraform, because CloudFormation is a pure AWS native tool. So you can automate all AWS services with the help of the CloudFormation. You don't need a Terraform. Okay, if you are working in a one company, they are corely using this CloudFormation. Okay, if you go to the another company, they are using the Terraform. Why they are using Terraform? Why not CloudFormation? Because they might have a multiple cloud services. They might have AWS, they might have Azure, they might have a GCP, or they might have a both. Okay, but while searching for a the DevOps engineer, If they are specifically looking for cloud formation, they have to identify who is expert in cloud formation. It is very tough to get, because cloud formation is only works with AWS. It won't work with Azure. It won't work with GCP. So that's why we are focusing on Terraform also. So Terraform, if you are good in Terraform, you can automate the AWS infrastructure, you can automate the GCP infrastructure, you can automate your Azure infrastructure. That's the importance. That's why we are bringing that into our sessions, and it's also focusing. That's why you need to understand what is a cloud formation and also the Terraform. If you are good in Terraform, yes, you will get multiple opportunities. Multi-cloud. Okay. Yeah. So that's all about our the demo. So we will only focus on our the real-time implementation. What is that builder book I have given? We will go through all the scenarios, and we will assign the assignments. You will be responsible for writing the Docker file. You will be responsible for writing the cloud formation template. You will be responsible for writing the Jenkins file for that application, the different stages. You will be responsible for deploying that on infrastructure and Kubernetes. You need to write the Kubernetes templates. You need to write the Helm charts. These are all part of your training sessions. So this is a kind of a skill set that is required for a DevOps engineer.